Like a Steve or a Jim.
Okay.
It's a type of goat.
Okay, so we're live, and I guess for the sake of completionism, I will run once again through the intro to the adventure, and we'll see. And you guys, if there's variation in details, you guys can pick the one you like. So you guys began the series of unfortunate events when you dug through the floor in the old city of Jordoba and managed to get through to a secret temple of Thalasskoptis, the Lord of the Deep, Master of Tentacles, who is an evil sea god.
What part of that is funny?
All of it is funny.
Well, that's particularly funny for Gabe. So you did that. You got back to the city. You used information there to, well, what happened was you had to recover Albrecht's letter of introduction to the Architects Guild because that had been taken by the cultists of Thalasskoptis. And so you punched your way into one of the secret bolt hole temples that the cult of Thalasskoptis has in the city of Jordoba. You went in, wrecked a few rooms, managed to recover the letter of introduction. So you have that back, Zach. Then you got through into the temple area itself, but by doing so, you tripped off the call to worship that alerted everyone throughout the entire complex, and they were heading over, and you guys ran. And in the course of the escape, Gabe drove a cart over a halfling. So that's where things have led to. Now, from there, it's becoming clear. You've been told by a cleric of Mitra, who is the sort of the top god in the city, that there's a religious riot now brewing, as the clerics of Thalasskoptis appear to be making some of the final moves toward eliminating the Temple of the Dawn Goddess. And so there's an attack brewing on the temple. The Swords of Jordoba, the other group that is led by a cleric of Saint Muriel, are going to defend the temple. You guys are looking after the two clerics of the Dawn Goddess. You make your way with the priest of Mitra through the city. Fires are beginning to start as things light up. You're hearing, drums, street gangs organizing, various factions putting on the colored cloaks or jerkins or hoods or whatever it is that they identify themselves with, and there are armed people moving through the streets, and there's even rumors that some of the fish people of Thalasskoptis have been seen moving around on the streets. You hurry your way through some back alleys along with the cleric of Mitra. The Sister Francesca, who's one of the two, breaks off. You're left with Sister Eliza, who's an 80-year-old woman and the High Priestess. And as you're heading down the stairway, all of a sudden, the priest of Mitra clutches his chest and falls to the ground. What do you do?
I rush to check and see if he's alive and okay.
He's not. He's dead.
Whoa.
Like dead?
Like dead, and you're beginning to hear beginning to feel the tang of smoke in your nostrils as you can hear some sort of large armed party moving in the street parallel to you.
We should keep moving.
Oh, what do we do about this guy?
Is there any doors nearby, or like some trash?
There's a door leading into one of the houses nearby.
Let's
wait. How tall is this guy that's dead?
The priest of Mitra, he is about 5'8".
Is he taller or shorter than Gabe?
Oh, I would imagine probably taller. I'm a dwarf.
All right. Oh, we're all dwarfs except for the elf, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it wouldn't help anyone to disguise as him, but do we know the location of where he was taking us exactly, or did only he know?
Only he knew. That's the problem.
I'll be honest, Zach. I'm really glad that we weren't going with crawling inside of him and using him as a puppet, because I thought that's where this was going.
Starting with how big is the body is never good when it's Zach.
The size of a corpse is an important tactical consideration.
I'd like to search him.
Okay, you're gonna search him. All right, you
I'm
find.
gonna search him for PCs hiding inside his body.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Or maybe a map.
I'll check his liver for emeralds.
I'll keep a lookout because I have a perception score.
Okay. All right. So you're checking rooftops and door and so on and so forth. You do see one upper window open up, and there's a lady looking out who doesn't look like she's probably a cultist of Thalasskoptis. Ian, you search him. You discover a holy symbol of Mitra. You discover a bag that contains 200 gold pieces. And other than general weaponry, there's nothing else really significant on the body.
All right, is that door locked? Check the door.
Okay, it opens.
And now, is this the same door that the woman stuck her head out of?
Looks like it's probably the same building. It's a little bit hard to tell because a lot of the buildings are connected to each other and plastered together, so you don't always know when one building ends or another begins. But she does look down out of the window and say, "What are you doing?"
We need to get off the street. Is that all right if we come in?
No, go away. You killed that man.
No, he's our friend and he needs help.
He looks dead to me.
He needs a lot of help.
Well, if you're such a good doctor, could you come help him?
I'm not a doctor.
Well, you clearly can tell that he is dead, but he might have just gotten concussed.
He's not dead. Albrecht, help me up with him.
We need a yes.
Bernie is fine.
He's been drinking quite a bit.
All right. So the two dwarves, you pick the guy up?
Yeah.
All right. So you sling one arm over the one shoulder and one arm over the other shoulder and drag him toward the door.
Yeah.
The smell of smoke is getting stronger as you do this, and suddenly in front of you, the door opens, and standing there is sort of ducks through the doorway and comes out and then stands up in front of the doorway, blocking the way. A figure that's about 10 feet tall. It has a single eye in the middle of its forehead, and it's holding in a sort of gnarled, long-fingered, clawed hand a disc that has a strange magical symbol on it, and it is it's a basic chaos symbol, the 8-pointed star, and with the arrows, eight arrows going out. So he's holding that up in front of you. What do you do?
I go, that is intellectual property of Games Workshop.
It's the generic symbol, not the highly stylized.
Is he in the doorway? Like he just came out of the same door as the old woman looking out the window?
Well, the old woman looking out the window is on the second story, on the second floor.
Are you going to help us with this? Are you going to help us with this body or what?
Give us a hand then.
Do you know this guy?
And I'll push the body towards him.
Okay, so you push the body towards him.
Like onto him if I can.
Whoa,
okay.
This is just what we were looking for.
There's a bloody lot of unfriendlies coming this way. If we can get a move on, then.
So the body, when you throw the body towards him, it sort of bounces a couple of times on the street cobblestones, and then it begins sort of sliding toward the guy, and then it begins to sort of twirl and curl up like cotton candy and disappears into the center of his chaos symbol. And
problem solved. All right,
up.
thank you. And then
All
we'll
right.
just keep going
Albrecht,
in the direction we were heading.
Albrecht, what?
What?
The
Can you
direction
give me a light?
The direction you were going was directly toward this guy.
Yeah, I've stopped going that direction.
Yeah, let's.
I'm throwing an oil at him.
Oh, little dudes, let's get out of here.
All right. Well, you've got about 30 feet of range between you and him. So you're gonna pull out a flask of oil, Ian.
Yep.
Oh heavens! I start going the way that we were going before.
That is toward him, apparently.
No,
So
no,
it's
not that way.
There's
the other way.
There's the street that you were going on, and then there was this door, and you were thinking to go through the door to get off the street. But
no,
the
I meant
direction that
the
you
way
were
that
walking
the priest, the way the priest was asking us to go.
Yeah,
Before-
I assume that's down the street.
That's down the street. That's away from Mr. Big and Chaos symbol.
Yeah, well, then let's just go that way.
Yeah, I think we should just not be here, guys.
All right, we'll start to move. Make sure the cleric is okay.
Come on, ladies.
Our other cleric.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Go.
Okay.
Two of them, right?
I
Well,
still
there's
have an
the-
oil out.
Yeah, the high priestess of the Dawn Goddess is with you guys, and
Is she wearing something obvious? Like, is she really in bright yellow robes?
yeah, she's totally decked out in full high priestess gear, and she's actually about halfway down the street now, because the point at which you guys started throwing the body and discussing what to do and whether you were going to like oil, she turned around and started hauling ass as fast as she could manage to shuffle in the other direction. And so you guys sort of make sure we got the other cleric, and you're like, oh yeah, she's already
She's
100 feet down the street.
Now, when you say other direction, do you mean back the way we came?
No, I mean forward in the direction that you were going with the priest. But the thing is that you don't know where you're going to. So I mean,
Yeah, well, we'll just follow her. She looks like she knows where she's going.
okay.
I'd like to make note of this address.
Okay.
Hey, does one of you little dudes having those little ball bearings we used for the fish people? Just throw behind us.
Not a problem. I throw the ball bearings behind us.
Okay. So you throw the ball bearings, but the guy doesn't appear to be following you. In fact, he disappears from where he was standing, just seems to blink completely out of existence.
Sweet.
Whoa, dude. So what did we get into last night?
This is awesome.
Whatever it is, the priest had too much of it, and we've had almost too much of it. Because I saw a man come and disappear.
Just Steve, can you loan that priestess your cloak or something? Because a bright yellow robe in the middle of something.
Yeah, sure. I might still have those cultist robes we got too.
I'm not sure
that's a good idea.
Oh yeah.
I've got one of them too, and I'm not entirely sure that's gonna be a whole lot.
I'll give her the regular default Elven Ranger cloak. It is a deep green color. Might have some leaves and dirt on it.
Gabe, also let me just remind you about when you were in the Temple of Thalasskoptis, and you guys.
Which one?
The second one, the one that was the bolt hole under the city. That there was that. This was that fresco that you saw. You remember that, Gabe?
Oh yeah.
All right. So anyway, you have concerns, Gabe.
Should have been concerns.
Okay, so that's our dwarven warlock who has a pact with some sort of being out there.
Oh.
And I did not set this up. All right, so you guys reached you're trying to throw a cloak over Sister Eliza as she's heading along. You guys reach the end of the street, and the street opens up into a plaza that's about 50 feet by 50 feet, ringed around by businesses. There are another couple of streets that come through, And in the plaza, there are two groups of people faced off against each other, probably about 50 in each group, carrying torches. There's one group that are holding up, they seem to be sort of centered around a priest who's holding up a staff, at the top of which there is a copper symbol of tentacles and a face, which is the symbol of Thalasskoptis. And over on the other side, there are various people who look like they're wearing holy symbols of Mitra and stuff like that. So you've basically got your Mitra, one of the Mitra mobs and one of the Thalasskoptis mobs that have been roving through the city, and they're coming together roughly at the same time in the same place that you guys are. What do you do?
What is the nun doing?
Well, I mean, she basically stops and doesn't know what to do. She does sort of gather the cloak over her head more.
I say, sister, do you know any of those people?
Yes, we might want to join the group from Mitra, but on the other hand, that puts us out of hiding, and we're supposed to be hiding from.
I know, but what I'm saying is maybe one of them know where we can hide you.
I think we need to. Can we skirt past the crowd on the edge?
Yes, you begin skirting around past the crowd.
Is the Thalasskoptis rabble like a full-on rabble, or is there like a leader and it's a warband kind of thing?
It's a full-on rabble. There is a leader in there, but he doesn't look like he's got very good control over what's going on.
Okay.
Do they have a lot of torches?
Yeah.
The Thalasskoptis guys do?
Yeah. Okay.
I do need experience points.
They don't appear to notice you guys. So you slip. There's a little gallery area where there's an overhang from a building, and it's supported by a colonnade, a line of pillars, and you guys are able to get in under the shade of that. And since it's getting dark, the shadows are enough that going in sort of a single file line and being short, except for Steve, who's being elfy, you guys are able to sneak along past the mob. Are you carrying any light sources yourselves? It's late evening, but it's not full dark yet.
I think all of us can see in the dark except for our cleric charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think she needs to hold on to Dane's shoulder and stick with him. Well, you're the least likely to go toe to toe, I think, right?
That's fine. As we go, though, if I can peek out and see actual members of the Thalasskoptis crowd, I'm going to be doing the awaken mind thing and speaking into the reins as we go, just to sow a little bit of confusion.
Okay, what is it that you're saying to sow some confusion?
This is not the way, brothers.
They're going to have a pamphlet circulated about the whole "this is not the way, brothers" thought that it's it's incorrect ideation.
The church of Thalasskoptis has been taken over by false priesthood.
Yeah,
it is. It's a false message. No, theirs is the false message.
Just say, this is the way over here, and point to some weird way, into the river.
Grow thine beards.
Yeah,
okay.
The way is behind you.
Gabe, are you telling people what you're doing? What are you?
No, I figure it's just sort of I'm sending some I guess confusing messages just as we go by. I'm not really targeting any one person. I'm just continuing to move on with everybody else and just doing this as we go.
Okay. So as you do that, the entire mob of the Thalasskoptis group turns as one and looks directly at you guys.
Oh, you son of... All right, I throw an oil at the nearest one that has a torch.
Okay. Roll to hit.
That's downright creepy.
17 on the die, minus my minus. Let me see.
Whoa, those dudes are
ranged weapon. Let me add my dex. So I've got an 18 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit.
What are we doing for damage on that? 2d6?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of damage.
I rolled
How
11
much?
damages.
How
Two
much?
D6?
No, 1d6 on Torch in 5th edition. It's not. It's
Oh,
alchemist.
it was an oil.
It's not alchemist fire.
It's just oil.
Okay. It splashes on him and the little tiny flames gutter here and there, but you need alchemist's fire to be able to.
Yeah, I should note that lamp oil doesn't burn super fast. It's designed to burn kind of slowly.
Nobody knows, actually, because we don't actually know what medieval lamp oil is. I've read hundreds of blog entries of people arguing about it.
Well, medieval lamp oil.
It's just fantasy lamp oil.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm using 1st edition lamp oil.
I think didn't they use olive oil in?
No, literally no one fucking knows. Like, some people are like, oh, it could be olive oil, or it could be whale oil, or it could be, it could be like a thing that like works like gasoline, but it could be a thing that doesn't.
I just
So it
like to
really
assume
depends
it's
on
napalm.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know it didn't. You know it didn't work like gasoline, but
Didn't you write a retro clone? Like, didn't you look it up? Nobody actually knows when you buy lamp oil, which of these many things that they use as lamp oil. It
well,
could
no,
be.
I mean as far as I'm concerned, in Swords and Wizardry, it's kerosene basically.
Right, yeah.
So 5th edition is a static 5 damage if it gets lit.
No, 5th edition does jack shit for you if you throw lamp oil.
It says the oil that it says comes in a clay flask.
Yeah.
Holding 1 pint.
Yeah.
You splash it on a creature within 5 feet, or throw it up to 20 feet, shattering on impact. So it's a ranged attack.
Uh-huh.
Once it's hit covered in oil, if they're lit within a minute, they take 5 damage from burning oil.
5 damage. Okay. All right. So you
and then
pegged him.
and it burns for 2 rounds.
All right. So you pegged him with your kerosene, as opposed to alchemist's fire being more like napalm, I guess. And he's soaked with that, and realizes that he's covered in oil. Does not light himself with the torch, and starts screaming and trying to back everybody else away from him with his torch, being like, "Keep the torches away! Keep the torches away!" And so the mob begins moving toward you, and the group from Mitra is not seeing that as aggressive. So they're just sitting there thinking to themselves what badasses they are as you guys become the focus of the Thalasskoptis mob.
All right, I will pull out that holy symbol of Mitra that guy that I grabbed from him and say, by the power of Mitra, strike down the unbelievers.
And I will go for Mitra, and I will just run straight at the crowd, brandishing my axe.
Oh God.
Okay.
It's not our first riot. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Little dudes, we gotta protect the priestess though. Maybe we should just.
Yeah, what are you?
For Mitra! Trust me, it's a plan!
Oh heavens.
Okay, so
It's a plan, all right.
who is not
An
charging
idiot.
into melee with the 50 followers of?
Yeah.
That would be everyone but Zach. Is anyone going to grab hold of Albrecht?
I will if I can, but I feel like I've already acted, so. But I'll be
He's pretty speedy.
I'll be action greedy and try to stop him.
I mean,
I'm just trying to get the crowd to charge.
If I don't save a dwarf a session, I don't think I'm doing my part. So.
Okay, well, okay, so Sister Eliza grabs hold of him. And unfortunately, she's really light and he's really strong, and so he begins
Oh God.
dragging her forward.
I grab her.
Nope.
She's-
Do I not notice? Do I not notice she's hanging off of me?
Albrecht?
Dane
Albrecht,
grabs her.
Zach,
Albert's not a big
perception.
He's not a big noticer. It's
Roll
true.
a perception check because you're in battle frenzy here.
All right. Let's see.
Just roll a d20.
Yeah. That's a 5.
Okay.
Dwarven perception is clearly not a racial trait.
So you're all in terms of kicking the ass of this mob, and so
I'm running toward them. I didn't say I was fighting them. I just said I was running toward them, yelling for Mitra.
Oh,
Okay, no, good point. So you're trying, you're doing the rabble rousing riot fighting thing. You just don't notice that there's an 80-year-old woman going bumpity bump, but behind you, on the cobblestones. And so then, Gabe, who's got the higher dex, Alla or Gabe?
Probably
me.
Allah.
Yeah,
Right.
everybody probably.
All right. So what does just Steve do then?
Just Steve is gonna make a grab for Albrecht as well.
Roll a d20.
Okay, it's a 16.
Okay. So you grab a hold of Albrecht. All right, Albrecht. Now you notice that just Steve has also grabbed a hold of you. The mob of Thalasskoptis people.
And now, as they grab me, I've been grabbed by Steve, and I've been grabbed by the nun, and I go, the agents of Thalasskoptis have me!
All right, well,
and my plan is complete.
Okay, so
God damn it, Albrecht.
All right, so here's what happens now. The mob of Thalasskoptis worshippers is still sort of zombieing forward toward you guys. And now the mob from Mitra is looking pretty violent. I mean, they're taking out weapons, and they're moving forward toward the Thalasskoptis guys. And a couple of them yell, "They've got him! They've got the dwarf!" What do?
Run away.
Okay, so you start running. Alla?
Yeah, I'm just as long as he's not running at the Thalasskoptis folks, Steve is just gonna let him go and help the nun up.
Okay. Gabe, what do you do?
Dane is trying to understand everything that is happening at the moment, because there's been quite a few surprises, but he's just going to try and usher the nun along and get away from this whole mess as well.
And Ian?
Oh, I think I'm in the front running away.
Okay.
Where's Zach with my coward symbol?
He's working on catching up, but Zach's problem is that he's been encumbered by a couple of people, so he's hasn't made it back to the rear as fast as you managed to. All right, so you guys are running back away from the riot, and as you are, and so you're running, and as you're doing so, Albrecht, since you were sort of the last into the running line along with Steve, you notice that Gabe has begun he's got this sort of faint greenish glow around him, and there's like a thread leading from the back of his neck back toward the mob of the Thalasskoptis people, and you're able to glance back and see that leader that was in charge of the mob, his staff with the symbol of Thalasskoptis is the source of that sort of stream of light or green light or mist or whatever it is, that's connected over to Gabe, and the guy looks really fucking surprised.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look, as usual, all religious matters I refer over to Ian, so
okay,
I'll go. I mean, do you know what that is?
What the hell? What?
It appears to be spiritual in nature.
Okay, you guys round a corner with the mob moving behind you. You can continue the discussion as you're pelting down the street.
What are you talking about?
The mob is still chasing us?
Oh yeah, the Thalasskoptis mob, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to be pouring out oils as we run.
Okay, so you're running along. Well, wait. Are you going to be talking to all? Okay, so you're.
I'm not looking too hard because I need to do something to slow them down. Then we can stop and look.
Okay, so you're pouring out oil. All right.
And then I'm gonna get someone to be like, Dane, light a torch.
Oh, Roy, and I will do so and try and. Okay, we'll stop pouring for a second.
Flint and steel on the run does not work.
I got nothing.
Is there any torches on any of the walls? Any
Yes.
I'll put an animal trap down on the ground as we go.
Okay, so Albrecht skids to a stop and quickly starts putting together an animal trap.
Oh, is the guy that got covered in oil? Is he still like in the mob that's back there?
He's not anywhere near the front. He was working on keeping everybody away from him.
That's fair.
He was not nondescript mob member number 7. So you.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
Who knows?
As soon as one of the mob members kind of comes into the area where he started like laying oil, I'd like to try and use Mage Hand to like bat a torch out of their hand just unexpectedly. Like when you walk up to somebody who's reading a newspaper and you just whack the newspaper down out of there.
Okay, well you've got.
Wham! Oh!
All right, so he's coming along and he's all, everybody stay away from me, stay away from me. He's using his torch to hold him back, and then bap, the torch hits him in the face and he ignites and goes up.
Thalasskoptis says no.
Nice.
So he's screaming and running, and you've got your animal trap and you got your oil. You're able to grab a torch off the sconce. Do you want to light your oil and then keep running?
Yeah, I'm just trying to create. I don't really want to burn anybody. I just want to like sort of a little wall of flames to slow them down.
Okay.
An obstacle.
All right.
And give us a couple rounds to. There's no fish paper nearby, right?
Fish paper, no. All right, so you light your obstacles. You head off running. After a second, you hear somebody yell, "Ow!" As he gets caught in the animal trap.
Feel the bite of Mitra.
And that allows you guys. You come to a sort of an area where the street could go off in either one of two different directions. So you get to pick left or right.
Do we have any clue as to the character of either one of them via any sense without having to stop?
Yeah, if we know where we are, we want to head away from crappy neighborhoods if possible.
Okay, so you want to head in toward the Merchants District.
Yeah, that sounds crowded.
Is the thing still on me?
Yes.
What is that? Can I run my hand through it? Is it still there?
Yeah, it's like a green nimbus around him, and it's got the little tail end that's leading, almost like a tentacle over there, and other little things are starting to come out from it. Once again, like tentacles, and sort of working their way out into the air.
Oh, that's freaking rad.
Why doesn't Gabe go left and the rest of us go right?
That's kind of what I'm thinking too.
I try to cut it with scissors.
We got to make sure we have like a.
Wait, I'm gonna dip my scissors into holy water and try cutting it.
It cuts.
Oh.
All right, let's go.
I kind of want
to the Merchants
that a
Guild.
bit more, but
Sprinkle in
okay.
some of that magic water, little dude.
All right, so with the sort of tentacle of light severed by Ian's holy scissors, you guys are able to haul ass in the direction of the Merchants' Quarter. Unfortunately, as you're going, more tentacles are growing out of Gabe's little light nimbus, headed out to parts unknown. And so
I'm gonna pour the rest of that holy water over his head.
No, it's good. It's good. Like, I got this. I'm gonna try and like will them to furl up or stop spreading or try and control them somehow to.
Okay, so you're trying to control them. It's not doing anything. Ian, what do you do?
I douse him with holy water and say, I bless you by the thumb of Saint Muriel, and I press the toe against his forehead.
All right, Gabe, you take a hit point of damage.
Oh, no, just cut. Oh, I don't need that. It's fine, really. We'll just go inside somewhere.
What are you? What do you have something on you? Like, what's going on?
I check to make sure I don't have like a. No, I think it's just a thing. Don't worry about it.
What? No big. Did the holy water do anything?
It kind of burned a little. I mean, nothing at all.
That's a bad sign.
No,
It doesn't look well.
I'm fine.
Do I need to see a priest?
I see at least 2 priests right now.
Well, that's a nun. That's a priest.
Well,
That's
the
sexist.
Sister Eliza turns around and sees the nimbus now for the first time because she's been just sort of hunched over and running, and she looks at Gabe and she goes, "Oh shit!"
What?
Oh, let's find somewhere to hide, and then you can just make fun of my nimbus, okay?
Okay, so at that point, let's take a quick break, guys, and we'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Oh boy.
Okay, because it's always good to leave on a cliffhanger like that. All right.
Gabe, I'm sorry we have to kill you.
No, it's all right.
We might have to kill you.
Apparently, when Matt asked me what my
What did you do to Matt?
Yeah.
when he asked me what my patron is, I shouldn't accidentally describe the god that we're fighting.
How do you?
You did not.
How did you?
Well, he was the great.
You did not. You really described. You sound like an octopus with the face.
Completely unintentionally. I'll be right back.
That's some Pocky right there.
Oh.
What the hell? Oh. Well, we might have to use that morning star named Axe.
Just point me where I need to go.
Hey, we've made 200 gold tonight at least.
Yeah. Let's hope that his church doesn't come after us for it.
We never split treasure from before either.
Well, all right. We can split it later. Get it.
Yeah, maybe when we're not being chased by an angry cult.
Maybe we should time it so that we kill him just as the session ends, so we're splitting XP 3 ways.
I like that. That's a good idea. If we're gonna do, if it has to be done.
I mean, if we have to do it, we may as well get tons of money for it and experience.
Yeah, we may as well get some experience for it. Oh my goodness.
So here's the deal. Like, I don't know that the person who gives me my power is actually Thalasskoptis, but I know he's not a bad guy. So if it is Thalasskoptis, then I think this whole like cult of Thalasskoptis, they've got it all wrong. I think that's the problem here.
Maybe you need you know,
What was that?
a religious schism within the Church of Thalasskoptis.
Right? I think we can start the Reformed Church of Thalasskoptis.
The Baptist Church of Thalasskoptis.
Yeah, just
Well, baptisms are going to be a little bit redundant with that crew. Let me just let you know.
The blessed tentacle of Thalasskoptis. Oh. This is not great.
No, it's fine. We should get that staff, but apart from that, everything's fine.
Does everybody have a healing potion?
I don't think I do.
Everybody should. Everybody should have one.
Oh, I do have one. Yeah.
But you should have an additional one then.
Oh, okay.
Because we had 4 from last time that we didn't use. And it's been ages, so we never split that.
I won't let that.
Okay. I'll take it.
I have a bunch of bricks too. Those are perfect for riots. We could throw bricks.
Yeah, we could. I think you should definitely start a schism.
That would be great.
That's kind of my plan.
You're gonna have to do something. If it helps you, we have 7 holy symbols of Thalasskoptis.
I have a robe too.
I've got a robe. I think all of us have robes. We have 4, so we got enough for everybody.
I'm just a little bit worried that they all zeroed in on me when I did that thing.
Yeah, I think you should maybe stay away from the magic for a little bit.
I kind of wonder if that, like, the real Thalasskoptis is onto me.
Well,
And maybe isn't a fan. Maybe he's not the guy I thought he was.
Oh my goodness.
maybe you could convince them that's translation error, and they're really supposed to follow Thalasskoptis, the Lithuanian skateboarder.
That sounds like a good plan.
Earliest skaters to have his own line of decks. Had a puma on it.
We just need to get somewhere high. Somewhere from which I can
You want to proclaim?
I can proclaim to my followers.
So we need a defensible building that you can go to the top of. You really want to try to turn this?
It sounds good. I mean, hey,
I'm behind it. If you
I
want to
kinda
try
do.
it,
I kind of do.
Listen, I like this plan. It's just crazy enough to not work.
the worst case scenario is we make the riot bigger and we're at the top of a tall building.
Yeah, with the worst case, the thing that could happen is it burns down with us inside of it.
Well, to be fair, that's pretty bad. But
No, not when you're carrying 11 oils.
Well, you throw the oils down first. Here's a
I'm the one who starts the fire.
Oh god, it's like
Like-
we're baptizing them in oil.
It's nighttime. They can't even see us unless they have torches. And as long as they have torches, we can
Or-
throw oil on
or
them.
if you have a green glowing tentacle nimbus,
I mean, yeah, but
which is awesome, by the way.
well, I can see you. Not
Sort of.
Sort of. Jordoba.
I think, the primary focus should be to get the sister somewhere safe, and then we can have crazy plans like trying
Yeah, but a safe. We don't know where we're going, and we just need to get her someplace safe, which is a tall building.
Is number 1 not with us?
I think number 1 is still in.
He's alive. I just the centipede.
Oh, you're here? Probably not.
I guess this needs to be slow.
Okay, are we all here, Badala?
She's here.
I'm
She's
Oh,
here.
it's here.
Okay. So
Camera off.
when the just as the high priestess says, "Oh shit," 8 tentacles of light spring out from Gabe's head in a radius, and then a circle of green light bursts out from there, surrounding all of you guys. And you find yourselves suddenly in another place. And I'm going to switch the camera over.
Oh boy.
And so
Another world.
Another place.
that is not where you are.
Another
What
time.
is this place that we are in now?
In an age of wonder.
Because all of a sudden, all of you
He of the tentacle beard protects us.
disappear,
Uh-oh.
leaving the street behind you empty.
How do we know?
Do we...
So
Well,
now,
we don't.
yeah. How do we know?
Does the priest come with us? Priestess?
That's
None.
an important question.
All right, so let me see how we're
As long as
See
we're
how we're
done
doing there
this,
with
that's
that
all that matters.
camera. Okay, so there you guys are. Well,
Well, this looks nice.
We're in an entirely different location. What are those bones?
Those are...
Freaking bones.
that is what they look like, is bones.
Are we tiny
I'd like to-
people now?
Yeah, I'd like to look up.
Okay. You look up, and by the way, that's your new mini, Gabe.
I like it.
So overhead, the what does that do? Okay. No. So overhead, there's this sort of churning green sky, and you sort of feel like you're underwater, even though there are these great big bones all around. And off in the distance to one side, you can see several underwater ziggurats that are grown over with barnacles and green stuff. And you're not sure of the scale of the things, but they look pretty massive. And next to them, there's like an island going up, or I mean, from your perspective, it's a cliff, but you assume it's going to go up and be an island. And sort of all up along the side of that, there are some kind of dwellings made up of cyclopean stones and things like that. And you can see creatures moving around, which gives you a sense of scale, and you realize that the things are absolutely enormous that you're looking at over there. And so you're taking stock of your surroundings.
Is there a sign that says like "Welcome to Relay"?
No, there's not. And then
I think that's also trademarked.
The most disturbing sign of all. If they had everything like this, but then street signs.
Then what?
And then street signs.
Oh.
Yeah, adding street signs into it would be
Creepy.
okay.
Oh,
So
he looks friendly.
Mushrooms, little dudes.
That doesn't look like a problem at all.
There is a guy who steps out from the bones, and he is a sort of a fish-looking guy, and he's dressed in what Kurzim recognizes as the outfit and the raiments of a priest of Thalasskoptis, and this would be one of the actual Kuo Thalas, who are an ancient race that worship Thalasskoptis and live under the sea, and they are they are sort of the full form of the little fish people that you guys have fought before. And so through the sort of gloom of the atmosphere, he looks over at Gabe. He points a finned finger at him, and he says, "It's time to call in some chips, Warlock."
Whoa.
You
now
chips?
Now, Gabe, you immediately get 4 additional first-level spells, which you can burn through.
Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
All right. And then let me switch the camera back. What do you do?
Well, what do you have in mind?
It's time for you to hand over the High Priestess.
Does it really have to go down like this? Seems like a rather aggressive way. Is this truly his will?
And at that point, the guy sort of disappears and shimmers away as if he'd come to pieces in the water.
Quest. Are we on a vision quest?
Oh, yeah. You guys had the same mushrooms I did, right?
The same what? Oh, yeah.
Mushrooms. Yep.
Well, see, I'm very confused by this all.
Well, there's fish and chips, so we might just be in a pub.
It's fair.
Apparently, we're all really toasted already.
Well, at any rate, you know, the nun is safe now.
Right. I don't know who would actually hand her over to.
I'd like to
seems to be around.
pull out my shield and hammer.
I'm gonna look at the nun and see how she's reacting to being in
Okay.
place.
So
Yeah,
you
how's
look
she
over. You look over at the nun, Zach, and when you do that, okay. So like, here's her hood, okay, and all of a sudden it seems to open outward and outward and outward, and all of you, it looks dark inside, and all of you feel for a moment like there's a kind of a shift, and you're standing in a chamber, in a little gallery above the top of a chamber, and down below there are 5 skeletons dressed in extremely rich, ornate robes, some of which are a little tattered and a little old, rotted, maybe. And there's the 5 of them standing around, and one of them is saying to one of the others, "Someone has just opened a nexus of possibility and populated it." And then the other one says, have you been able to find out who did it? You guys doing anything?
There's fish and there's chips. If I'm
All-
probably in a pub, and trippy things are happening, which means I think I'm drunk, which means I'm going to
roofied
roll to disbelieve what's going on because I assume I'm just drunk.
Okay. So you're doing that. All of the skeleton guys look up when you announce that there are fish and chips.
I didn't announce it. I was just explaining my thought process.
Oh, I thought that was what you were saying.
No.
Okay.
Saying that I think I'm drunk.
Okay.
So is this just a vision of these skeletons, or are we actually there with them?
Okay. Well, that's what Albrecht is working on figuring out right now. So Albrecht, you work on disbelieving, and an interesting thing happens when you do that. You begin flickering from seeing the skeletons looking up at you guys to seeing the city, that, you know, the underground, you know, ziggurat city, to seeing a fight in the temple of the Dawn Goddess, in which fish people are attacking the temple. They're fighting an elf up on a roof, and that you just keep moving from one to the next to the next to the next to the next in a cycle like that.
Do I know the elf?
Do you know the elf? I don't think so. So you don't know who he is.
Is Sister Eliza still there?
Yes, she's with you.
Is she?
Yeah, is she creepy?
Do you know where we are?
It looks like we are in the Council of Liches in Jordoba. And when you guys begin talking to each other like that, the skeletons look up.
Does the warlock know where we are? I feel like this is in his bailiwick.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of used to getting my messages a little bit more discreetly, I'll be honest.
Excuse me. I'm going to talk to the liches.
Okay, they are looking vaguely in your direction, and then one of them picks up a lens from the table in front of him, and he holds it up, and he looks through it, and he says, "Dwarf?"
He's got a lens.
Yes.
Where are you? Who are you?
I don't know where I am.
It's kind of this underwater looking place. Ziggurats, big buildings.
We're like a bit lost, skeleton dudes.
But I am a cleric seeking balance between the powers of good and evil.
One of them says pansy, and the another couple of them nod as if that's a wise, you know, sort of thing, and the one who's holding the lens just sort of waves his hands at the other ones as if, you know, shut up, sort of a thing. And he says, underwater ziggurats. So you're seeing the city of Thalas, probably.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
and I think maybe someone asked for a cigarette, and we were like, "Oh, there you go."
Is one of you wounded?
No more than usual.
I've got some holy water burns.
So he says, "How?" He says, "You are not currently in the true world. You are in a demiplane that is intended to break off a new set of possibilities in which the Dawn Goddess is no longer in the world of Jordoba. How were you entrapped into that?"
I'll point at the warlock.
Yeah, he
Well,
had
I
some like
might,
weird tentacle things.
I might have entered the mind of a couple of them Thalasskoptis followers.
Okay, so he turns the lens around to you, Gabe. So he's looking at you. How he says, you are not in some sort of contact with Thalasskoptis, or are you?
Could be. I don't know specifically. Great.
Have you made any agreements with supernatural beings?
Oh yeah, I did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
This makes the cart incident look much better, Albrecht.
It makes everything a lot better. Even digging 10 feet into like a mud pit.
What?
I mean,
Treasure in there.
so I mean, given the fact that now you've run over and killed somebody in your own donkey cart and pulled everybody off into
Those were completely different, extenuating circumstances. You can't
really
really
sort of
compare
lost
the two.
the moral authority to bring back, Curzon and Albrecht over the.
That's an ad hominem attack. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so the skeleton guy says another couple of them have started taking out one's got like a bowl of powder that he's starting to ignite, and the lich looks around and then he looks back and he says, "Well, we will attempt to pull you back since you've been able to make contact with us. And we'll prepare." And one of them is sitting over on the side, and he says, "Well, why should we do that?"
Because it'd be super great bone dudes. And we'd be totally out of your hair.
He is the wisest of us. Listen.
Why would you want to rule a city that looked just like the Kuathalas?
And Ziggurat is
Jordoba.
bad for you.
I think something is.
I think
Something is fishy
saltwater's
here.
probably bad for bones and stuff.
Oh, man, we just get a whole series of bad puns there between ziggurats are bad for you and there's something fishy going on here. So all right, so would we want would we want the city to look like Kuothalas? And he says, no, you make a good point. We would prefer to remain in our own power and separate from that of the gods. So we will attempt to bring you back. And he sort of peers his empty eye sockets over at the one that's sitting with the prostitute, who does like this and starts working on his own stuff. And
you see balance, just like us.
So the after a couple minutes, they say, "All right, here's what you're going to need to do." Warlock, where are you? And he looks around and he finds Gabe.
We push him into the lens sight.
Okay. So he says, "You're going to have to fight your way through that wall of bones, though, against followers of Thalasskoptis."
Oh, okay.
Are you going to be able to do that?
Probably not, but we'll try.
I'm a little bit.
Our best.
I don't really know if it's Thalasskoptis that gives me my powers. I'm gonna give it a shot though, because I think if it is Thalasskoptis, I don't think these people are necessarily on his side.
We were born ready.
That's what I'm going with.
we're ready but under-equipped.
All
Let's
right.
do this.
Best of luck to you then if you're under-equipped.
Thanks.
But we're sending thoughts and prayers.
That means so much.
That was
I
a big
feel them
difference.
washing over me.
We're really gonna win these guys. I believe. You get a thumbs up.
I don't see the problem. It's just an unruly mob.
So he says, "All right,
Okay.
we're beginning the process of trying to draw you back in. Fight your way through the wall of bones." And he starts getting smaller and smaller, and then sort of disappears, and you're back standing where you were in front of all of those giant bones with the city sort of off in the distance. What do you do?
I'm gonna take out my what are the bones made out of?
Bone.
Like, are they thick? Like, I'm gonna tap one with my hammer. Does it break a bit?
No,
is it stone? Is it like
It's bone.
petrified?
It's bones.
Mostly calcium.
If it's bones, then they're hollow.
let me move my little
Bones and
high priest here. Okay, so you're over here and you're banging at the thing there, and it is you can see that it's pretty big, and so the outer walls of it are maybe, I don't know, about a foot thick.
All right, but can we wend our way through it without like physically breaking them?
Yes, I mean it's you can sort of go through kind of like a maze or climb or
That's what we're gonna do then.
okay. All right, so
Albrecht and I will go in front with Eliza right behind us,
okay.
Yeah.
and then
Keep an eye on our cleric friend.
I think you should keep an eye on the evil warlock that seems to be with
I'm not
us.
Evil, but
Oh.
if we run into
Okay.
something, I can take care of it.
Listen, I'm questionable. I switch both ways here. I'm not judging, but
My contract is still more or less to protect the totally not creepy warlock. So
What,
He's
what have
not
I done
creepy.
that's creepy?
he's nothing creepy. You're just evil. Creepy and evil are not synonymous.
well, creepy implies hidden purpose. So
Yeah.
Are we really sure that this whole Mitra thing is really so great? That's all I'm saying.
I mean, what has Mitra ever done for us, really?
Quite
It's
a
not
bit,
about-
actually.
Answer a few
The
prayers.
high priestess says it's about the survival of mercy in the world, not about.
It's about balance.
Yeah, but that's what you would say, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sounds a bit like a talking
right.
point, if you ask me.
that's what I said. It is it's actually in my pamphlet. It's all about balance. It's called.
That's the name of the pamphlet you wrote. It's all about balance.
All about balance.
I don't get paid enough to think too much about this. So I'll let you guys take the lead on it. And if we have to,
Try not to do anything too evil directed at us, please.
what about
Are
the
you
nun?
speaking to me or the nun of Mitra?
I'm speaking to you, Dane.
Okay, I wasn't certain.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so you find an entrance, or you find a gap in the wall of bones, and you can proceed towards that. And let's take another 5-minute break. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Yeah, because last time I had to go gather up a bunch of bones from my backyard. So.
What is going on in your backyard?
Yeah, that's a terrifying backyard.
You guys
Oh,
heard it yourself. Matt has a bunch of bows in his backyard.
yeah, right. He didn't.
Just for
He's so
seeing it.
lazy. He didn't even bury him. He just left him out.
It's the all the bones.
Probably the bones of the last player that swore to the evil god in his campaign.
It's because everybody who's failed at climbing Mythos Tower, that's all their bones.
Yeah. Oh, there'd be way more bones than that. Oh my goodness. I'm a little worried here.
I am too.
Yeah, I don't know what's our end game, guys.
Level 2?
Well, I mean, besides that.
I mean, what was our beginning game?
Level
Loot?
2?
Yeah, level 2 and also loot.
I mean, worst case scenario, we die.
It really isn't that bad. I've done it once
I'm not
before.
dying. I refuse to die after being so close to... Our XP is like molasses on a cold day.
We're so close to level 2 though. We're so close.
Zach and I are 425 points away.
Yep.
I don't know. Didn't you get a day in that I didn't?
I don't know if you... Is that the case?
That's true. You were. We cleared out the temple when Zach wasn't here.
Oh, so maybe you're behind me.
He's probably at about where we are.
You can't be that far behind there, though.
We shouldn't be too far. Didn't we die like the first session?
We did.
Second.
die in session.
Second? Okay.
No, first.
Was it the first? I thought it was...
It
Yeah,
was
it was
pretty
pretty
early.
No, because the second was when we rescued the bard from the mushroom guys. The first was us escaping from the ogres.
Oh yeah, good point. We
Right,
did
because
make it
you guys
way
found the
through.
bard right after I died. We died.
Well, I've got a shovel, so I can bury you.
Under the bones. Made of bone.
I mean, all we have to do is walk through some bones, right? How hard could it be?
I'm more concerned with my own moral turpitude at this point. I'm wondering how much longer I can keep up the belief that my patron is a good guy
Listen,
when I have direct evidence.
you could
Your patrons
always
are good.
become a follower of Saint Muriel. She was one of the strongest dwarven warriors in all of Jordoba.
100% of followers of Saint Muriel in the campaign have survived every single session.
That is a valid point. Maybe you can be a celestial warlock.
Bleh. Bleh.
Okay.
Except Muriel.
I'm not an expert on spiritual matters, but it seems to me that somewhere in some splat book, there's always a way to do both.
Perhaps third party.
We're gonna have to go third-party publisher here.
I'm going to form my splinter religion. That's all I'm saying.
Thalasskoptis.
So when you have that,
Micus.
when you have that thought, Gabe,
Mhm.
A second opening appears in the wall of bones. One of them, you're being one of them, the halo of blue light, the halo of green light around your head starts pointing a tendril down one of them. But there's also a coppery colored light shining over from the second one. Which direction do you go?
Copper is more valuable than green light. I say we go that way.
It could be like emerald or jade or something like that. But I like the option. I'm gonna go with the copper light.
It's too putrescent to be emerald.
Okay,
That's judgy.
you're gonna head toward the copper light.
Yep.
All right,
It
make a
is.
saving throw, Gabe.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna use my my green die for this.
Is that the right one to use for this? You think?
Are you sure you don't
Can I
want to
show
use
you what I
copper
roll?
colored die?
I don't know if this will. I rolled a natural one, so probably not.
Did you really?
You chose poorly.
Well, isn't that my steampunk dice, and those didn't really seem to be
I
appropriate.
told you didn't want to use the green die, but you know.
Well, he was interesting. I'll say that for him.
Oh. We tried
So
our
the
best.
Where are the notes on?
Is that the so
I
Gabe
realize
has
this is
died?
The fundamental
"Let me
problem with religion. Well, no, I mean, if I just need a sign.
That's
You don't think you're getting a sign? You need more than this to be a sign?
No, I think this is it. I can. Okay. We can
Matt's
do
like,
this.
let me check my notes for Gabe's soul is lost section.
That's just say the word. I can be that character.
No,
Don't be that guy.
I can be that guy.
Oh. All right. All right. Curzum.
Yes.
Here is some background theological stuff. Chaos and law are not the same as good and evil. Law has got basically that stuff is all irrelevant in the cosmic sense. Good and evil are irrelevant in the cosmic sense. The followers of law, when they're human, they'll often pick a particular god of law who happens to be, merciful or nice or a supporter of humankind or something like that. Not always. I mean, there are a lot of them like Mitra that are basically just straight up law. But one like the Dawn Goddess, for example, who is a god of law, could also, has a tendency toward good. So that's how you get the lawful good, lawful evil, all of that stuff. Normally, chaos is associated with evil, but there are beings called Elohiels that are sort of the equivalent to angels, only they are servitors of chaos, and they're the ones who are like, well, you can make a choice to be, good and merciful and all of that. So Thalasskoptis is a god of what you'd basically call chaotic evil. But there are also these beings called Elohiels that they're not gods. I mean, they're like I said, they're the equivalent of angels, or the counterparts of demons, the same way that angels are the counterparts of devils. So you've got that knowledge going on here. That's about it in terms of useful stuff. But you're figuring that there might be something going on here where there's some sort of intersection going on between more than one power of chaos, and it's all centered around Dane at the moment. So Dane, you rolled a natural 1 on your saving throw. And that means you take 12 hit points of damage.
And drop unconscious.
Okay. So Dane is down. What do you do?
I rush over to him.
Okay.
Oh, I slowly rush over to him.
Okay.
I forget which. It's
I'll
the stupid
rush over to him.
The spare the dying thing. I just gotta make sure it does what I think it does.
It stabilizes them. Oh, but it doesn't.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure it didn't do anything else. I'm gonna cast spare the dying on him.
Okay. Yeah, it works. So you're stabilized, Gabe.
Okay.
I'm gonna slap him a few times. Like, wake up, damn it!
No, that won't work.
Oh, okay.
I'm still
He's
doing.
not going to.
Okay.
I've got it. I'll slap him.
All right. So everybody's slapping him.
No, I'm not. I'm just making sure that I'm feigning slaps on him.
So his body is beginning to slide in the direction of the green light gap through the bones.
I'd like to tie a rope around him.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna try and hold him in place while you're tying the rope too.
Okay.
Or I'll try to do that.
Well, he's
Do we-
trying to tie him. I'll slap him some more.
Okay.
So we could go through the green one and hope that Dane is good and can create a good sect of the Thalasskoptis religion.
All right.
Oh, we'll
What?
defer to your wisdom.
Will it be?
Listen, no, I'm not saying we should. I'm like, I'm just putting out options.
All right. So you're able to stop. You're able to stop Dane from sliding further toward the thing, and you can stop and talk for a little bit.
Is this spiritual?
Cursor?
Yeah, yeah, ish.
So,
I guess.
Steve, do you know anything about matter spiritual?
Only how to get in touch with my spiritual side through the curative powers of various herbs and spices.
Do you have any herbs and spices on you?
Oh, always, man.
All right,
What
give us
kind of
some. We need them at this moment.
Sister Lisa, what do you, I mean, what do you think? Is it worth attempting this green path to try to make a more benevolent, chaotic sect of Thalasskoptis?
I'm not sure that's what the green path represents. We should. I can barely cast spells here, but I think I can manage to cure Dane and get him back to where he can.
Well,
you had spells this whole time.
Let's wait till we're down the copper path again, so he isn't struck down and dragged down the green one.
Well, what if it kills him? Like,
I'd say we do copper then. Let's head down that one.
I mean, he straight up passed out last time we tried to go there.
Yeah, so why would we waste a spell for him to pass out again? We can give it a shot after. Resource management.
I need the herbs and spices before I can make a responsible decision.
I'll hand you a cube. I'll hand you a block of incense.
I'm gonna eat it. I'll take a bite. I mean,
Wash it down with this mushroom, man.
All right, and you're taking some mushrooms.
Just, I mean, we're already on a trip. Well, here's a mushroom.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
All right, and does Steve take one of the mushrooms too?
Steve is already like, he thinks he's already like tripping through.
Okay, so Steve does not take.
Realities.
Steve does not take one of the mushrooms.
Steve does not.
You're just fucking Albrecht. What are you doing?
All right, so Albrecht is eating incense and mushrooms.
I'm a spiritual guy. I don't really understand what's going on, and from what I am,
your breath stinks like frankincense.
It's like potpourri and death.
I go fire bad.
Did you eat the mushroom?
Did Steve give me a mushroom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can have a mushroom, man.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. When you do that, a lot of stuff sort of counter-clarifies for you. So I need you to be playing Albrecht like you've got an 18 intelligence and an 18 wisdom.
All right. I've got the vision. The green path is one path. The copper path is a different path. The path
Really?
struck him down is anathema to the nature of his god. And I think that we should chance it anyway.
So copper it is.
Listen to me, I had the mushrooms.
I'm with you. So, yep. This is what usually happens when you take psychedelic drugs is you agree with my plans. So let's go. Copper path it is.
You're saying that's all it took the entire time, little dude?
This is exactly how the donkey race happened.
I knew it.
Like exactly how the donkey race happened.
I'll
Damn it.
pretend I didn't hear any of this just so we can get on out of here.
All right, so you are dragging Dane down the copper path?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so you drag Dane down the copper path, and you enter into a room in which there is an angelic figure sitting on a throne, and Albrecht is able to perceive that you're not physically in this room, you're just sort of, seeing it, but it's still real. So I turn
to everyone and go, we're not here, it's just spiritual, but it's real, but we're not here physically, but what you do is important. Watch yourself. Okay.
We're in the tangible and tangible.
Precis. It's a liminal space. You with the wings, what do you have to say?
Well, nothing to any of you except for the warlock there. So it gestures.
You're gonna have to.
It
Okay.
gestures, and then Dane is now awake and conscious.
I go, Dane.
See?
It's liminal space. It's real. We're not physically here. It's real.
Who gave Albrecht drugs?
It's the tangible and tangible.
Tangible
This
and
is the only
what
way.
you make now
Okay.
has sort
This
of
is the only way.
dogmatic consequences, but we can't make it for you. Don't screw up. All right, there you go.
Well, you dragged me down the path, but at least it was the one that I was trying to go down anyway.
I know how you feel.
This fellow wants to chat with you.
All right, so Dane, you've got the ability here to make a pact with a different creature that will have the same effects as the warlock pact with an elder being, because this is a chaos creature, but it's not the one that you managed to totally jump into a major campaign theme without realizing it. So you've got that choice, but you don't know what the effect would be on the other side if you were to do that.
Well, describe this creature to me. It's angel wings and
angel wings, basically. But the thing is, you don't know anything about it. Curzim might be able to tell you about the Elohiels.
How is its facial hair?
Its facial hair. Well, that's
at least, or we got at least like any sort of beard.
Okay, all right. Well, if it's the one that would be interested in making a deal with you, okay. You realize that the entire space that you're in, this sort of cathedral, is made up out of the hair that's growing out of the creature's face, which then curls upward and forms this enormous arching cathedral with spiraling hair pillars, and so it's all that you're all located within this angel's beard.
It's like being back in my mother's womb. I've come home, my friends.
Well, we just learned something about dwarves that none of us wanted to know.
But yes,
wow.
The women folk have the beard on the inside. That's what makes us so hardy.
Wow.
Well,
yeah. Well, that's
take a mushroom for this.
That's speechless across the board. I don't think I've ever seen a party of people playing D&D just go speechless.
Trying to focus on other ideas and thoughts.
So suffice to say, I think what you're offering is agreeable.
Wait. Slow down. How do you feel about Thalasskoptis?
Are you asking me or his magnificence?
How do you feel about?
I'm asking.
Well, Thalasskoptis makes decisions. That's Thalasskoptis is right to do that, but that's That's what chaos is all about, is individuality and being able to make decisions one way or the other. If you follow law, nothing. And yet now, Sister Eliza, sort of sits up and points at the thing and says, "You are anathema."
Hand over Sister Lisa's mouth. I say, Sister Lisa, you'll have a lot of time in the future with many other entities that are more on your level of the hierarchy. At the moment, you're about to speak to an actual kind of maybe god. So just take an easy one for the moment.
Okay, so she's glaring at Albrecht over the top of the his hand, but apparently sees the wisdom of what he's saying, which is, unusual for Albrecht. So Albrecht, you're happy about that too.
The other alternative was me feeding you to the fishes as it was, so... Meh.
Have you seen my letter of recommendation for architecture?
But yes, I think what you're offering is agreeable. I might have not fully understood what I was getting into with that other bloke.
We all make mistakes in our youth, little dude.
Okay, now at this point in time, the following things happen.
Uh-oh.
Just Steve.
Uh-oh.
You realize that there's a way in which you can grow a 100-foot tall tree in 5 seconds, but it'll only work once.
Amazing.
Albrecht, you realize that there's a way that you could cause 5 tons of stone to be raised up architecturally by the structure of the air, and it'll stay there for a week unless you disassemble the air architecture underneath it. It'll only work once.
Good to know.
Curzim.
10 gold pieces.
You realize 10 gold pieces, right? That's what everyone wants most.
You realize you've been playing Amber this whole time.
You realize that there is a way to create 100 gold pieces out of the air whenever you need it. It'll only work once. And Gabe, you're able to switch over your pact.
I will do so.
All right.
Guys, I think I know how to deal with the high priest of Thalasskoptis now. Just make a tree grow out inside of his heart.
Oh, Jesus.
Joke's on you, he doesn't have a heart.
Oh, foiled again.
All right, so there is a so at that point the Elohiel sort of sweeps aside part of its beard, revealing a door out of the cathedral, and it says, so go through this passageway toward the gate being formed by the liches, and with luck you'll be able to get through before the Kuo Thalas attack you.
All right, so Ron.
Gabe, you're down to normal spells now. You don't have those additional 4 first level spells.
So I think we need to run towards that gate. Are we all down with that?
Move it out of here.
Well, just Steve jog towards it, but
Yeah, word.
Okay, so everyone's headed toward the gate at top speed.
Yep. And bring the sister with us if we can.
Yep. Okay, so you've
if we can.
If we can, I don't know. You know,
If not,
I want to keep her here.
All right,
The gods of
so with Sister Eliza in tow, you guys head toward the gate. Everybody roll a d6 and tell me what the total is.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I rolled a 1.
Oof. 5.
I got a 6.
And Zach.
4.
Okay. That does it. You're the priests and the fish people are moving towards you quickly, but you are able to get to this gate that begins forming, made up of bones and skulls and scraps of rotted flesh woven in through the bones, and that sort of begins opening up in front of you. Do you go through?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. You are back in the city of Jordoba.
What's going on in Jordoba?
In Jordoba, the religious riots are in full swing now. There are mobs clashing with mobs. The horizon is orange with the fire of the various fights that are going on in places where buildings are being burned. Fortunately, Jordoba is mostly stone, so you're not getting a sort of inferno raging through it the way that you would in a wooden city. And,
Are there? There's cart races then.
Cart races?
There must be if there's that much fire.
Yeah, but not going on right at this. Oh, you just whenever every time you've ever been in a cart race, there was fire.
There's been lots of fire. Oh,
okay.
So we're. Oh, are we headed? We're still in the merchants' quarter. Where
you have come out. You've come out more. You've come out near. As you look around, you're actually inside the grounds of the Imperial Palace. You think?
Well,
Whoa.
should be pretty safe here, little dudes.
I don't know about that.
False, yeah.
Well,
are we
probably
supposed to be in the Imperial? Like,
no, you're like super not supposed to be in the Imperial Palace.
So, hey,
yeah,
gents, when we were in that place with the hair and the beard and that angelic being, anyone happen to catch his name?
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Elohiel.
Well, I think that he was an Elohiel.
Yeah, he's a type. It's Elohiel is a type. It's the opposite of demon on the chaos.
Maybe he'll like tell you in a
I think
dream or something.
I think he said his name was Al.
Okay.
Or that you could call him Al.
Yep.
Al.
I got diamonds on the soles of my shoes.
Really?
Nope. Don't take my shoes. I need those.
So are we, where in the Imperial Palace are we? Can we see a way to get out or a wall to climb over or?
There is a wall that you could climb over.
All right, let's go over the wall as quickly as we can.
Oh, okay.
What? Wait. Who's Imperial Palace? How do the Imperials feel about the Church of Mitra?
Let's see. You don't know the answer to that. Gabe doesn't know the answer to that. None of you. Well, oh wait. Allah, is Steve from the city?
He is from outside the city. He spent most of his time in the Dwarven lands. Actually.
Okay, so yeah, actually, you guys have no idea.
Does the nun know?
Yeah. They're it's a power balance kind of situation. She says we should maybe get out of here.
Oh, that kind of
as they're talking, I'm throwing a grappling hook.
That's
okay.
the kind of power balance with which I'm familiar.
Okay. All right. Your grappling hook holds. You also see that it has landed right next to one of the Imperial guards, and it has hooked on nicely. And he continues to look outside of the palace, watching out for any sort of dangerous rioters that might be approaching the wall from outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Imperial guard fight is not that hard.
Dane, can you handle that?
What do you want me to do to him?
Incapacitate him without killing him?
Take a nap.
No, that's not something I do.
Oh, okay. Let's just try moving real quiet, like.
Oh,
You're gonna stand on morality now.
I can incapacitate him without killing him.
I have not yet to commit an immoral act.
Not you. I meant Gabe.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. Seriously.
What? You said without killing them. I'm just saying I don't think that's something that I do. Like,
I'm gonna take a brick out of my pack.
You're carrying a
I have
brick
a brick.
around in your pack.
yeah.
I do. I have 47 of them, but I've only got 3 of them with me.
Okay.
And I am going to throw it. Well, maybe Albrecht, maybe you should do this. Can you pitch it down there to get his attention? Down, like, farther down the wall?
I huck the brick. I get over at 20.
Okay. You got over a 20 with it?
Yeah.
Okay. It hits the top of a bronze statue. Over by the side of the thing. And it makes a loud gonging noise, and then the statue slowly, majestically begins to fall into the grounds of the palace.
That was what you wanted me to do, right?
Yeah. No, that was great.
And so it lands with this deafening bang as it hits the marble down at the bottom. And the guard jumps almost out of his skin, and he grabs a horn and starts blowing the horn, running toward that area and waving to that area. And lots of other guardsmen start running over to the statue to see what it is that's going on.
I climb.
Okay, up you go.
Comes up where I can use my brick throwing.
And as soon as I get to the top, I'm going to put a rope down the other side.
Okay.
And I'm out of rope now.
Well,
Okay.
I'll help Sister
I too
Oak
will
go
climb.
first.
I guess after.
Yeah, let's get her up there. She's old.
Okay, you can actually pull her up the one side and then keep that rope, and then someone can carry her down. I think Albrecht's probably strong enough to carry her down with him.
Yeah, I can do that.
He's got to carry me.
Carry you.
I can carry them both. I got a 17 strength.
Okay, so you guys reach the bottom of the wall. So you're outside of the palace. It is in the palace that the Council of Liches meets. They have advised the Emperor. So that's probably how you ended up in the Imperial Palace area. What you now it looks like it's getting close to dawn, which means that most likely Sister Eliza is going to be safe if you can get her back to the Temple of Mitra, at least. Probably not a good idea to take her straight to the Dawn Goddess.
So where's the Temple of Mitra?
Not too far away.
All right. Well,
Just start heading that way.
there unless we hear loud riot noises between us and it.
Okay.
There aren't any more weird green squiggly things over Dane's head anymore, right?
Nope.
It's the most important part.
Okay, yeah, you're able to get her back. So you guys get into the Temple of Mitra, and okay, so the priests there take her and declare that she is safe. So
your other cleric was struck down. He died suddenly. We weren't able to recover his body because we were trying to move quickly.
Yeah,
well,
but there
and
was
some-
really weird, creepy dude with an eye and like the symbol.
Yeah. Some
That was
chaos-
like the least weird thing that happened to us today too. So
Yeah, like this is just
some sort of demon, chaos demon, like sucked his body up.
That was a whole.
But I recovered his holy symbol and this, and I'll give him back the 200 gold and his holy symbol.
wow, so generous.
okay. All right. They say thank you, and they say you should all be rewarded. I would think for your assistance.
Oh yeah, we definitely should.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So they give each of you a medallion of Mitra. It's a gold medallion. It's only really worth about 25 gold pieces in terms of the gold, but it shows you that you've got a certain status with the Temple of Mitra. Now, they ask what it is that happened, and you, keeping in mind, Kurzim, that Mitra is like all the way law, and that Elohiel is still a chaos creature as far as the priests of Mitra are concerned. And they ask, so what was it that happened? And the question is, do you give them the full details?
I will not lie to them, but I will obfuscate where possible. And like I will, and yeah, so I will tell them that we were somehow teleported to Kuathalas, and that we escaped Thalasskoptis' goons with the help of the Council of Liches, who were seeking balance.
It's definitely going to sound like we went on a really wild trip.
Okay, so you do mention the Council of Liches. Albrecht, do you add anything? You are no longer operating, since you're no longer in that plane, you're no longer operating with the 18 intelligence and wisdom.
I'll say, I don't look at me. I think I was in the bar the whole time.
Fish and chips were there.
Have you shown them your letter of introduction?
Yeah, I've noticed.
They might need.
You've got what appears to be a grind vault here, and it really, if you had a barrel vault, you know, you could really, the Mitra, it could be mitre shaped, you know, so it's more euphonious, and everyone could like pray in this way and that, and it would go, oh Mitra, we pray to do the same thing every day. Yeah. It would echo.
There'd be far less groins.
If you need
so
this
redesign, less comical, more conical.
And précisement, as they say. Yeah, do you need any kind of redesign here in the temple? Because the young sister here was complaining. I mean, I wouldn't say she doesn't complain. Not a word, you know. But she was saying, you know, it's a bit damp. You know, the way the water falls on the roof could be improved. So, do you need services of an architectural nature?
Well, for the temple of the Dawn Goddess, yes, we were thinking that it might need to have. Well, the thing is that the chapel of Saint Muriel is currently located in there, and we were thinking about building a chapel of Saint Muriel, and specifically for that. And it appears that you seem to be in some way connected supernaturally with Saint Muriel and the Dawn Goddess. So perhaps, I mean, are you a qualified architect? Do you have some sort of letter or something that would indicate that you have the skills to do such a thing?
That is humorous to me that you might ask. And I present my letter of introduction from the Architects Guild.
It's only fitting that a dwarf would design and build a shrine to Saint Muriel, being as she's the finest dwarven holy woman and warrior of the city of Jordoba.
Dwarven?
Well, she wasn't tall. I mean, we all know that, right?
Well, okay. All right. She wasn't tall.
I mean,
and her beard was lustrous.
On the inside.
Wait, what?
Her inside beard, Jesus.
As I've said many times today, I'm not in the bar. I'm not an expert on spiritual matters, but I know a barrel vault from a grind vault.
All right. Well, in that case, we will give you a budget of 10,000 gold pieces.
Précisement.
To build the chapel.
Excellent.
All right. Now, obviously, I think we know that there are going to be dangers and things that arise from the building of this chapel.
What? to go off without a hitch?
You realize we can charge them for the 46 bricks that we have, and we don't have to buy them.
Estimate is always changing, always being revised.
Yeah.
So yeah, Albrecht, you figure that.
Well, that doesn't include landscaping.
Yeah. You're fairly sure that you could. You're not 100% clear on what all the labor costs are in the city, but you're pretty sure you could do this for 9,000 gold pieces. So
Excellent.
And if we free some slaves in exchange for their labor.
Yeah. I'm seeing it all come together.
Well, you know where there are some. There are some in the.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
I wonder if they'll still be
Free
there
them
after
and
the
then-
swords party.
So next adventure, you
Okay.
guys are going to go looking for those slaves.
Looking for laborers.
Looking for laborers. Okay.
Laborers.
All right. Sounds good. That's what we'll do in the next adventure then. All right. Awesome. I'm going to go. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and take us off of the broadcasting.